Yeah, so my background is I'm actually a career CIO and CTO, and over the course of the last 25 years or so, each job I've layered in something. So I have fulfillment, distribution, customer service. It's only the last 2 years I've had P&L experience when FTD went into financial distress. They basically wiped out the management team because I'd had success in the technology. They elevated me to manage the 4 consumer brands for FTD through that financial crisis, which included bankruptcy. And then I managed the FTD and Pro Flowers brands for a year after that. So I joined Blackmore Connects like 3 days before the conference or 2 days before as a member, and I did it because I was ignorant and just didn't want to be ignorant. I think the epiphany I had after I went to the conference, it's like a no-brainer for me, because what I learned most of all, I had 4 meetings. I originally had 6, 2 of them bagged, Atlantic and the minority and women-owned business, FARA. FARA called me the day before and said, it makes no sense. And we actually talked for 20 minutes. And then Atlantic Street bagged. I had 4 great calls. I'd say I had 4 good calls, and 2 of them were great. Tim from Southfield was very probing into my background and my thesis. And Avies, I knew it beforehand. When I went through, I had sent a note to Gerald before saying, what these guys write on their website is right up my alley. And I like Zach a lot. I think he's no nonsense. And I'm also glad I'd looked at his parent, Victory Park Capital, because what he started pounding me on is one of their portfolio companies, which is in my sweet spot, not part of my thesis or anything. And they were all vested. They all wanted to know about the thesis. I give my thesis a C. Like it wasn't really fully baked. And it was kind of broad. And you guys have helped me a lot, actually, because when I hear, I think it was Joseph talking about being in the education space. I was in the education space with Rosetta Stone and reading, and I've been in the manufacturing space. And what kind of hit me at the end of the day, more than anything, was the scale of this, is that I had 4 good calls. I didn't think any of the PE firms were necessarily exactly in my sweet spot. But if I could scale that to 100 calls or 200 calls and have 6 deal theses that are all legitimate and very niche-y, I just think that there's gold in the hills there. I mean, I've got follow-ups with 3 of the 4, and I don't think I did a very good.
In the hills, what do you mean by that?
I just mean, for me, I'm open to anything. I'd love to find a deal. I mean, that would be the ultimate, even though haven't been at it for very long. I love to consult. I'd love to be an interim C-level. I'd love to be on the board. I just am really open. I started my own company yesterday. I'll be launching it soon. And I just think that there's a lot out there. And so it's, to me, you've said it a bunch of times, but it didn't, fully resonate, is that it's all about the funnel. And by narrowing down these PE firms, by actually picking the ones I think are close to me, and some of them would get bigger. I thought, I'm not really a lower mid-market guy. I'm really a mid-market, more like 100 million to $1 billion type of guy when thinking of revenue. But I just think the better I can make that funnel, and the better I can narrow in my deal thesis and cater my background to those deal theses, the more it will resonate. I mean, I resonated hard with 2 of the 4 and pretty well with 3 of the 4. I can't imagine if I can actually go through a filtering process on both the company side and the PE side that could just have rich conversations, and something's going to hit. I mean, I don't know when. It might take, months and months, but I just can't imagine that something wouldn't materialize. And so I just appreciated the experience. And I appreciated listening to all of you. We're all very different. And I picked up little bits from everyone. And I know a couple of us have had conversations off to the side. And I even like Denise. I networked with her off to the side. I think some PE firms probably look at her and think, yeah, that happens, but I'd never use someone like you. But I think there's other PE firms. I think she's really well connected. I have a follow-up with her as well. And that's
she is very connected. Yeah, she and I both go to a lot of ACG meetings. I see her all over the country. Yeah.
Yeah, I bet. And so the ones that do embrace her, then obviously she's connected to them. So it's just all about networking and having connections and meetings and just getting that whole ecosystem going, which is not necessarily in my comfort zone. I was talking to Gerald before, like cold calling is not second nature to me in any way, shape, or form. So I have to work through that a little bit. But once I get on the call, I'm super comfortable. So I don't know, just overall, I thought it was definitely worth the price of admission, and I look forward to doubling down here, and making this more of a full-time job here.